All right, good evening, and thank you for joining us. We have three fantastic speakers here today, starting with Joe Warbington, the Healthcare Director, and he's been working with us. Joe, he's been gracious to come visit us at Children's, and we requested him to show some of his favorite apps, so that's what he's going to show. Thereafter, we're going to have Dalton, Mr. Thorpe. Everybody knows him. And I'm eternally grateful to him because 3-4 years ago, when I was thinking to start a group, I was bugging him, essentially asking, hey, can we start a group? And we were meeting in a mall just to brainstorm. Never thought that we can start a group, let alone have many people attend, which is what's happening now. So thank you, Dalton, forever. and we have another great gentleman, Mike Steedle. He's the Chief Solution Architect for Access Group. Now, his story is interesting too. My friend Carl, he's not here, Carl Thor. A few months ago, he sent me a LinkedIn message and said, hey, Silpan, Mike may want to meet with you. And I'm wondering, Mike, why would he? And he said, well, you guys have a common interest, and that's personal finance. So somehow Mike stumbled upon one of the personal finance blogs, and the blogger is very popular. He interviewed me, I think 4 or 5 years ago. How I came here with $20, which is true. Now, my dad said, if you want to make it on your own, and achieve financial independence. You know, I can quit, do nothing, but I enjoy what I do. So I think Mike listened to that, and that's why we wanted to meet. And we met here, and we talked everything but finance. Yeah. And that kind of morphed into us requesting him to come and speak, and he's gracious. He knows a lot, and if you don't know, if you've ever downloaded Rob Wonderlick's Analyzer, the newer version, he's one of the authors, so he helped Rob build that. And of course, you know, if you go to Access Group's blog, you know, he writes a lot, so we owe a lot to him too. So thank you, Mike, for coming, and thank you.
Let's see if I can.
This one is A.
Try. They said the ball might be going out, so but
Does everyone have the A on the bottom?
it might take a minute to come back. But in the meantime, I have some questions for the group. So I'm Joe Warbington. I'm based in Madison, Wisconsin. It's nice to be here when it's super cold at home, so I appreciate your time. And before I jump into some things, I just wanted to check and see. We had a big day at Qlik today because it was release day. So we released new Qlik Sense April 2019. Some videos went out. Probably a few folks have tried out the early adopter edition. Some things have changed from there. So I was quickly trying to download the latest and greatest and update it for that. So I have a couple of things maybe we can show on there. But Mike Givallo creates a lot of those YouTube videos that you might see. And they're great little snippets of what's possible. Let's see if it's flickering now. Touch anything else. And before I show some of the apps, and this comes back on, I also want to see, like by show by hands, who's going to Qlik Connections in a few weeks? If you're not, I hope you will, and consider it, because it's a showcase of all kinds of customers, what they're working on, what partners are working on, and also what Qlik is innovating on. So a lot of the things you see in April will also be in there. Did the blue screen come up on it or not? When something happens, maybe you change the process of the organization, and you want to know that you want that hockey stick type of approach that now we're getting better. And this is the event related to that. So I think it's a really interesting, it's a line chart for them, but this annotation of those things can be really interesting to pull in if you're you're not using stuff like that. So I share this app out there. It is all my personal data, but I will give you the app, the identify, or just blank, so you can feed in your personal data from Apple. Other folks have used Strava and Android Health. I don't have those apps, but you can probably track it down. So that's one of my ones that I use to kind of showcase what I'm up to. Another one, this was kind of a fun one, and I might go back to my computer here, was how many folks have kids? Trying to come up with a name for your kid was a fun little thing. So my wife and I were, buying books. What are we going to name our kid? We name it after, a grandparent type of thing. And I'm like, I bet I can find every name of every U.S. citizen if it's in the census. And so we took and pulled in that data. So 305 children. It's not everything, but it allows you to randomly generate a name. And what I did with this is find, let's get one that has a couple more kids. These are really unique names. Well, let's just pick. So, I picked Claudia. There were this many kids. Peak popularity for names in 1952 in California, and it doesn't look like it's on the up and up. So that's where it was popular. And another way to look at it is, by the state.
I'm not that old.
There were other names, Elsa, and if you can imagine, this got really popular after the Disney movie Frozen came out. It wasn't really popular. So kind of use it to see where it peaked there, but it was kind of a fun way for us to think about names and then compare the names as well. So this app's actually out on the demo website. I don't think it has a job, but if you go to the hub, you can search for all these hidden applications, and you can find things like the name game that I can use to compare Elsa and Claudia. For instance, let's see. Claudia's in green, there's a lot more people named Claudia in the US, and Elsa is making quite a stride here, although it's starting to drop off. So it's an interesting way to see how popular your name is and uses all those names. And see some different ways of using the data and ranking things. Other ones, these geoanalytics things have been pretty interesting. And you might see it, there's a card there. On the healthcare team, we decided to see if we could put in a body map and use this information. So if you think about if this didn't exist and we're trying to find all the radiology scans for a patient, they want to know what has been radiated the most. This can be interesting. They can use the chart to see like, these areas are the top ones, these are kind of in the middle. But to see it visually on the body can be really, can help people that aren't super familiar with data and analytics and bar charts even, although it's pretty straightforward. But this shows me, and we've been doing a lot of x-rays or scans on the eyes, the ears, and the shoulders, for instance. So you can use geoanalytics to do some really interesting things that are not geographic related. You can put images in here now. If I were to turn on the map, this body is basically floating in an ocean somewhere. There's actual geocoordinates behind it, but we've mapped these different areas. And on For Community, there's a whole tutorial on how to build this out. So you can take any image that's out there, and as long as it's pretty distinct outlines, you can map that in there with some simple, you do Excel if you want it, kind of identify each zone. Obviously, the more places you have, the more work you have to kind of identify this. Or you can find these off the shelf GeoJSON files for them. I don't know if anybody's doing that. They need like floor maps and things like that. And we've actually made that super easy in this latest release. I just pulled this file out today. We had a release day where you can pull in. You might have seen it on that video that was playing. basically make a grid on any image that you want. So to use this visually, you can see things. We're starting to use this in hospitals, in the emergency department, for instance, to see which rooms need to be cleaned, which ones have patients that have a blood disease sepsis, because that room needs to be cleaned differently, more deep clean, and there can be contaminants. So they want to highlight on the map so people can visually look, oh, we have an issue here, or this room is open, and so we can put a patient here. And those types of examples are actually really easy to do now with the April release. And then the last one, too many things, no slides, was this one I've shown a couple of times recently, and folks tend to like it because there's this need to customize Qlik if you have used Qlik for a long time. And moving over to QlikSense might take a little time. I think the screen will flicker. You'll see actually the title bar change as this updates. I did it earlier. But Visliv has created a couple of really interesting extensions for the visuals, but also for the interface. And the whole top toolbar changed to purple. And so you can customize the interface now without needing to make a mashup. It's something intermediate, somewhere in between. And this allows you to do things like create your own menus. You can put all your filters along the side. You can create as many buttons as you want along the top. And you can even do the things that we used to do in Qlik View with tabs for each sheet to really navigate so people don't have to unpack. You can just have the 3 main tabs that they use. Put your help desk kind of system there so they can request any data elements. And we see a lot of use just out of this. It's called the sheet menu object that they have. And just a way to you can customize the heck out of it, whatever colors you want to bring in. It's pretty slick. And what I did actually, Dalton knows this, I took a screenshot of just the inside, and the watermarks for Visliv weren't there, but you can try this out on your own. I sent it to our team at Qlik, like 50, 75 people, and I asked, what is this BI tool? And I just kind of left it, that was the question, and she wrote right back, oh, that's Looker, that's Tableau, that's Excel, you're trying to trick me. And a lot of people, some people wrote Qlik because there's a couple giveaways, like this little tick for sorted is only in Qlik. And some of those search boxes on things say, like, that's Qlik. But to the untrained eye, this looks like everything else out there. And I wrote back, no, this is QlikSense with APIs, with Visliv. They were like, we need this immediately. This is stuff that our customers have been asking for. So they have some really interesting visuals like the sand key diagram, and we like to show flow between things. And happy to send along all of these examples to the group too. I'll send them to Chopin and Claudia, and we can make sure you guys have a repository of this stuff. But Visliv is kind of fun to play around with if you've used Qlik View for a while and want to kind of run into roadblocks with QlikSense. I find it really good intermediary for trying some stuff out. And then in the last thing is just in April release, they added in the associated insights, which is something we've been wondering how are they going to expose this. So you make some selections, and now it's using the cognitive engine and the associative engine together to figure out all the things in gray. So maybe I want to look at all of the account patients. Let's say customer numbers. This is why you should track your demos ahead of time. Well, well, it'll show you things in the gray that maybe we're not anticipating. I think you need some master items and measures to make it work, but it's going to be pretty powerful when you figure out how to use this, because this goes through that method where you used to select excluded, find everything else, and then maybe, oh, that thing is in the gray over here, let's look at that, what's going on. The engine's going through and showing you the most relevant things, like you missed all of these customers have not bought this thing, or in healthcare, this whole set of patients, they're not using this generic medication. Why? You have it, it's a lot less costly, and so it's going to identify those things so that people don't have to unpack. I think we'll see a lot of use of that in the coming years. So just wanted to note some interesting use cases, and happy to connect on LinkedIn and Qlik Community and share. You've probably seen my workspace is pretty untidy, but I have hundreds of applications, and as long as it's not customer data, happy to send it along. So again, thanks for having me. Hope to visit more often. I'm pretty jealous for you guys' meetups in Madison. Everybody's kind of spread out, but we don't have a contained group like this. So thank you so much, and I'll be around for the rest of the night. I'm not leaving until tomorrow. So yeah. All right. And then this guy, I've worked with Dalton for years now, and yeah, he's a good friend. So you guys.